Saturday Showdown. Deepest Kia versus Genji.
As
Miss,
well as the
I kind of
rest.
miss Blue Ezreal being a thing.
Yeah, me too. That's why we play Classic.
Bluetooth Ezreal. You ever seen those builds people post where they're like, WhatsApp
Yeah.
Sejuani, and they'll just pick a lot of green eyes. Oh, man.
Perfect. All right, let's get into the draft here for game number 2 of the Telecom War. T1 with first pick on the red side this time around, as KT had first pick last time with their right of first selection and managed to secure the win.
And already we're seeing not a look in towards Vi, Cassiopeia, Orianna. Orianna's going to get banned. Cassiopeia and Vi still available. KT can only ban one. They ban Cassiopeia. I mean, especially with the Poppy ban that came out from T1, I think it's probably just going to be that Vi first pick for owner.
Yeah, I would agree. And it is going to be locked away. Cuz can go towards the Nefiri, which we have seen as a pseudo answer to the Vi. We've seen a lot of Vi players be able to use that flash, like the Vault Breaker flash, into the ult to make sure that the Nefiri can never really go untargetable. This would be absurd, as Ju just slams Kalista.
Such an early Kalista lock-in. And obviously the bot lane 2v2 from T1 is very fearsome. And they just want to immediately invest in this duo. But Kalista, when there's a Vi on the other side, can be tricky to play. We'll see what Pays and Carrier... We'll see if they bring out their bot lane now to answer this, or if they look to prioritize the solo lanes instead. I think getting a bot lane here secured would make more sense for me.
Yeah.
What are you specifically going to be able to pick into this? Or is the Caitlyn available? I can kind of keep it a distance.
Oh.
But a Talia coming through... Probably for Faker. The Unraveled Earth, a lot of value into the Talia.
Yeah, absolutely. Kalista does have a bad time tripping over rocks and things like that. So Talia is a good one, but this does mean that more attacks can now be leveled towards that bottom lane.
I think if you're not picking the pairing, maybe you just go here for the for top laner, for Doran, maybe the Ambessa.
Wait.
You can layer the CC with the Vi ult.
Hold on. How do we know that they're not picking the bottom lane? It's Talia Rumble, the classic combo.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably the solo lanes that have been locked in here by T1. But Talia was played sporadically on the bottom side of the map just recently. And the Cassante, one of the big picks into the Rumble that we had seen finding some success, going to be in the hands of Perfect this time.
So I think Caitlyn ban makes a lot of sense for KT here. Taking that one away from Pays and Carrier, pretty excellent at Caitlyn plus whatever lanes.
Yep.
And I think for T1, Syndra comes to mind. BDD's had fantastic performances on this pick, so I think getting rid of that gives a lot of space.
Well, I'm interested to see what Pays and Carrier have up their sleeve. Caitlyn Lux probably would have been something that they were looking for, but a Draven lane might be an answer, and just go hard engage. But we'll just have to see how far they're going to dig into the champion pools in order to make this happen. Pantheon going to be taken away from Cuz, looking for both the mid jungle here for KT. Maybe it's just Pantheon Nefiri that are going to be taken away here. Because, of course, likes to play a whole lot of different things. The Trundle could be something that he'd be looking for as well, perhaps. But it's not my personal favorite. And the Xayah going to be taken away from Pays as well.
Thinning out the options here for Pays a good amount. I hate to say, I'm sorry, Max, there is still Jhin available.
At least there's no Jhin Bard. So it's not that, no Jhin Karma either. So maybe it's not that tempting to go towards the Jhin.
Things like Jhin, Corki, you can maybe just try and play lane safe at a distance.
Silas.
The Silas ban coming through, which is interesting because I don't think it's phenomenal so far for a Silas. And the Syndra still being available, I think, is pretty appealing for BDD.
Yep. Makes me feel like T1 want an Alistair pickup. So maybe a Corki Alistair or something like that.
I mean, that'd be such a tough lane.
It would.
You also cannot go AP bot when you have Rumble Talia already, unless you're flexing the Talia bot lane.
All right, Wukong. There's a lot of teamfight threat here from KT.
They could just go Annie Wukong here. They lock in that Wukong first and foremost. And now, what are they going to play bot lane?
This is the biggest question in this whole draft. What
There is
does
still-
T1 have for us?
Yeah, there's no Ash Seraphine, but Ash
Vayne?
Seraphine's been pretty risky.
Vayne Alistair. Are you kidding? Hang on, wait. It could be. Are you letting me do this? Okay. It could be Vayne top into the Cassante to try and win that matchup, and then Rumble mid Talia bot.
They could try and do that.
They,
You're correct.
They could. The Rumble is the biggest problem in that whole equation, and it makes things quite difficult. All right, so the Vayne is likely going into the hands of Pays, but right now this is what I was assuming could happen.
This is chaotic.
Don't tell me it's actually happening. Don't tell me this is actually the thing.
It looks like they might be going for it.
Daniel, I was kidding. T1, guys. Hey.
Jokes have to be rooted in reality.
I was kidding. Everyone. All right.
I think it makes more sense than putting the Vayne bot lane. I think that would be a bit of a bad time. You'd be pressured out way too much early. Talia and Alistair can kind of keep the lane under control. You're going to be pressured early, but the Unraveled Earth, the Headbutt, good tools into it.
Yep.
Rumble into Syndra, you're not exactly going to have oodles of pressure, but the Scrap Shield's going to help you survive the earlier trades, and Syndra takes a while to really come online. And then a lot hinges on this Vayne top for Doran. Last time he played the Vayne, he had a pretty good performance, but it wasn't enough to get them a win.
In fact, that whole series, he was out of control. He was so incredibly good. What did you say he was playing Teemo but Vayne?
Yeah.
In that one, managing to find so many picks all the way around the map. This was a bit of a gambit thrown out by KT, locking in their bottom lane so incredibly early. And this is what T1 have come up with, a mid lane rumble for Faker. Is this going to be another one? Are we getting closer and closer to 100 unique picks for Faker? Because I don't know how many times he's played this one in the mid lane so far in his incredibly long career.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
I apologize to all of the KT fans at home that did want to cheer for their team. You wouldn't have been able to hear me if you were just yelling at your monitor, and I apologize. But I just did want to ask about the whole Faker Rumble situation. He's taken the Ghost in this game as well, wanting to run BDD down here in this lane. But it was a blind Rumble pickup as well. And so this could be a tough one to play out.
Yeah, I think originally they were intending to... I mean, the flex possibility was there, right? Oh, bot lane is a bit precarious, level 1, because you have an Alistair.
Yeah,
And remember, they gave extra magic resist to AD carries, which mages were already on the way out in the bot lane in the LCK, but an extra 3 magic resist at level 1 doesn't exactly help. I'm not saying it's going to make or break this situation, but does mean that he was just a little bit tankier in those trades.
Yeah, effort with the logistics protocol just to keep himself shielded up, try and get some poke damage down onto Carrier and Pays. But right now, the Talia Alistair are doing kind of fine, just waiting for this wave to move on over. That Pierce is pretty good. Handshake pulls him back, and Pays actually taken down to about 200. So as I'm saying it, I'm just caster cursing here.
This is my concern.
Yes.
Is that how much value are you getting from the Vayne top that makes it worth it to suffer this much in the bot lane? And I did say it gets to a point where they'll be able to keep Kalista Renata at like a healthy distance, but it's not going to be a fun lane. It's not like you're going to really have pressure here.
And it's also not like Perfect is going to be useless as this game goes on, right?
As long as he's not 100 CS down and the tower's gone at like 8 minutes, he's still going to be Cassante.
Do you have, like, are there 100 minions available in 8 minutes? That's
I
pretty
mean, exactly.
soon.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's fine. It's always going to be fine. Yeah, but no, I get your point. This is going to be definitely tough for Perfect, but it's not the end of the world if he just plays back and tries to absorb the pressure, because this is what's happening in the mid lane as well. This is another one of those sacrifices. The bottom lane definitely was a sacrifice, but you can understand why Talia works into the Kalista, right, with the Unraveled Earth. Once you do get access to that ability, you can kind of stop her bouncing around, especially with some support coming in from Ona. But I don't know how much salvaging of the Rumble into Syndra you're going to be able to do. And I know Faker is a phenomenal player, but you're still a guy that really wants to run someone down when they have Scatter the Weak. And then before that, they've just got a complete range advantage over you. So as long as BDD plays safe, it's just going to be really hard.
I think it's not too bad. I mean, you're not going to have that much pressure. But again, Syndra, you need stacks before you get access to like more frequent Qs being available, before you really have that pressure. And I think in the meantime, faking is just bulking up, and with Scrap Shield, can kind of mitigate.
All right.
So I don't think he's going to get run out of lane or anything, especially if you really need to. You can itemize early Merc Treads.
Well,
Not a fun time, but he shouldn't be dying, and doesn't have the TP this game though, so going to make resetting a little bit more awkward.
That was a really nice condemn, as Doran caught perfect after the Pathmaker came out, and so was not unstoppable. Well played. And so Doran is now the AD carry in this game. Let's see how it's going to work here for T1. Currently a 200 gold lead for KT. As the flash from Effort just going to pick up pace here. The rocks go down though. And this is the problem here for KT, is dealing with that unraveled earth.
Yep. Makes it very difficult to continue that momentum. I think G was just a little bit too far away when he went for the flash as well. With Kalista Renata specifically, it's the fact that you have the Kalista's W passive and Renata's passive. If you're both hitting a target, just so much damage, even if you just auto it. It's a ton.
Oh, Cuz moving in. There's the scatter, but Faker able to scrap shield and run away.
He's a little bit down in farm, but going to get a recall off here. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, honestly, not as bad as I immediately anticipated. My mid lane Rumble matchup knowledge is not as high.
Oh, he's going the Sorks though, not going the Merc Tread's defensive option. And the upgraded Sorks did just get buffed. So a lot of flat pen for Rumble, who very much appreciates that stat.
Yeah, certainly does like it.
Bit of extra movement, so you can speed, going to help with dodging the skill shots. And once he gets the equalizer, you know, you can just ult the wave and then reset, and you're kind of fine.
Some plate money, I believe, going over the perfect there. I think he was there more recently enough for that money to head his direction. Wasn't entirely sure, as we didn't see the number go up, or at least I didn't. As there is a really nice shove onto Jiu. He is going to be out of bounds away though, and this wave should just still be in control for the Kalista. FaZe and Carrier just hanging out here towards the bottom side as Cuz really wants this Scuttler. The battle for level 6 to come on through.
Oh, but Ona's nowhere near level 6. He doesn't even get it off the Scuttle.
Oh, wait, okay. Well, there's a Pulverize as Equalizer goes down from Faker. That's fantastic.
Scatter.
And the scatter is just gorgeous. First blood goes over to Jiu, who's still hopping mad in this fight. It's another kill onto Ona. Pays now running away. And he does throw down the rocks. Jiu now looking for the angle. He still has flash. Scatter again from BDD. And the Pierce is going to miss, thus guaranteeing that BDD picks up player of the match if KT win.
Don't understand why they're going for this skirmish into Kalista Renata. They are so strong in these early skirmishes. You just don't have the damage to cut through them. Ona is nowhere near level 6. Even if you got the Scuttle, it's not like you suddenly have access to the Vi ultimate. But they go for this fight, they get the combo onto the equalizer down on Jiu, and guess what? It just doesn't matter enough. They start to focus on Cuz, but with the bailout, he's not an easy target either. BDD got that phenomenal scatter onto 3 earlier in the fight. And honestly, this man on Syndra, just, there's another level to it.
Yeah, it definitely is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Pierce doesn't connect, but it doesn't actually matter too much. So now, KT moved to over a 1,000 gold lead.
I think it's fine if you want to go the Talia Alistair and just keep the Kalista Renata at bay. It was an early Kalista Renata ban. But you cannot opt into these early fights. It's not what the combo does. It shuts down when Jiwoo wants to fight. It doesn't allow you to just opt in, especially when you don't have the vial available, and it just allows Jiwoo to tank up that initial salvo and then go back to auto-attacking everyone.
Well, now Owner is into this brush. The Raptor does really want to hang out with Effort, though, as we can see. BDD's going to move on over, as Scatter is not going to quite connect onto Owner.
Oh, so
would like the big one, but does not actually get it.
It's good to know that it isn't a targeted ability, because I was a little bit unsure after the last fight. Yeah.
Nice to know. Thank you, BDD.
Confirming it's a skill shot.
He's now got some Sork shoes as well. So going to be a little bit more mobile here. FaZe and Carrier up towards his top side, trying to deal with Effort. And he's going to get flung back. Doesn't quite find the handshake here either, because the big rock is going to connect. But Effort doesn't look too worried about this whole situation. Kindle Gem in hand, that extra health helping him out here. Is now the Grub's going to be started up here by Cuz. That first one will definitely go over to KT. And it looks like T1 are not going to contest this. And this lead is 560. I don't think Perfect really cares too much about what's been happening here in this top lane so far.
No. Even though there's like a 30 CS discrepancy, it's like, okay, on what?
Yeah, and like, honestly, this is a very large lead. I just don't think it changes KT's happiness about the game state right now.
Yeah. That's like, Doran's been doing what he needs to do, and he's been doing it well. But is it enough? Is the big question when the rest of the map has a sizable lead for KT, and Cassante, he's still Cassante.
Yeah. All right, Ona is able to steal away some Raptors on the other side. That is going to be good news. But Cuz has been taking kind of whatever he wants. And is
Chemtech as well, by the way, so no Chemtech soul this game.
And it is still up and available. T1 in position to start it, and Ona will actually go in there and punch the dragon.
They have the Vayne around here now, which I think is important. They have Ona's ult, a lot more tools at play. KT are trying to make their way round on the bot side of the river, but this dragon's going down quickly because he's in range.
Yeah, just gets in. That is going to be the secure, though, for Ona. Cyclone is fantastic. The knockups are great. The bailout comes on through, but Cuz is not going to get it. It's a double kill for Pays as Effort flashes out of the way. BDD greeds to get one kill on the jungler, and KT throw it right back to T1.
And a critical thing KT were missing there. One of their best team fighting tools is that hostile takeover. Effort level 5 just doesn't have the same level of value. And I'm just questioning why that dragon was so important. You have to throw away position in the game. They go round for this. Cuz tries to go for the Q smite, but miscalculates. The bailout gets put into Cuz, so it's not there for Jiwoo. And when Effort's thrown in, there's no ult to follow up. So the fight's already over by the time BDD and Perfect arrive. And all BDD could do is just trade 1-for-1. But with 2 already down, that's not really a good trade.
No, it's not all that helpful. And Jiwoo not quite at item number 1 yet. And after that, Blackfire Torch is now done here for Pays. So this Talia, all of a sudden, feeling absolutely fantastic here in this game. And it is back to square one.
Look at that steep drop-off, by the way, on the gold graph. Just how quickly things can swing around.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Carrier's health bar quickly going to be evacuated from the rift. Static Shiv is now done here for Jiwoo. An item field that feels absolutely fantastic on this champion. I feel that's why we've been seeing her more often. BDD, I think, has picked up quite a few splinters over the last little while. You can see 64 already there.
It's a very healthy amount.
Yep, these Qs really starting to hurt. I think he only needs 2 more for the first big spike. And Perfect now.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. Doran is going to be able to grab some plates. Back into their top lanes where they're supposed to be. Finishing off their quests as best they can. Cuz moves on over, gets a control ward on top of the T1 control ward that's already there. And now Perfect might be under threat. If he does get a good angle, though, on this all-out, might be able to get himself out of the way, as now Pays could be in trouble on the other side. Okay, how do you get out of this one, Perfect? He does find the Q. There's the Cyclone to come in, but they've already managed to take down the Cassante. Another Cyclone's there, but the minions had picked up the turret aggro, and out go T1.
Just the power of the Alistar. I think any other support, and there's turnaround potential, but Carrier can tank it for so long. Layering the CC as well. Easy to set up the condemn when he's against the wall. And the end result is we see Perfect going down. Carrier
making the play
gets the aggro, and he actually uses the Pathmaker very early. And just ends up Cuz coming in a little bit too late, not able to keep Carrier under tower. I think he had to use the Pathmaker there to stop the condemn, but unfortunately just meant Carrier could take aggro and knock him out.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out there, and then Cuz actually invested the flash to try and save that play, and unfortunately that didn't work. So Perfect at least now does have a Frozen Heart built up. I think this is actually kind of cute into the Vayne specifically. Try and mitigate some of that attack speed.
Makes sense.
As the Headbutt Pulverize does come down for Carrier. Effort is going to be able to chase the cow away. But Hexplate is now on Doran. 13 minutes into the game, we are dead even between the two teams. Grubs in trade for Dragons. KT with the Grubs, T1 with the Dragons, and a Cloud going to be coming up second. We'll have to see what the Soul is going to be. Hextech could be absolutely devastating if T1 are able to grab that one. I think Double Dragon is going to be a huge deal. Could obviously still be Ocean. That doesn't feel great. I feel like it's going to be a spicier Soul this time around. It's just in my waters. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, odds are pretty favorable. You see a lot of vision down on the bot side of the map around this turret that BDD is trying to defend, so feels a bit precarious. Herald and Dragon both spawning at a kind of similar time, so I think getting mid-priority, getting control of that, really important for kind of dictating where you're going to move to and set up for your team.
Yep.
See right now, Q in effort trying to push the wave in, but Ona's just hanging around in the vicinity.
And it's scary because nothing's stopping Ona from getting in there if he decides a target.
So notably, Jiwa's flash is nearly up, but Doran pays without theirs for a while.
Wow, that's an equalizer down here from Faker, who silences himself. Cyclone has to be invested just to get rid of him. And hostile takeover.
That does not feel weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Unless they can kill Faker here. The second Cyclone comes down, and they do manage to kill him. Carrier can't get over the wall, but BDD is going to get surrounded and destroyed as Doran launches himself to this bottom lane and takes down Cuz. 2 on the floor for 1. And Faker will say, yeah, that's what.
Just some massive pickups there. And I just feel like the tools used by KT just not really justified. Throwing down the hostile takeover, you can see the setup was there for T1 already. They had a good amount of vision down on the bot side. Faker thinks, hey, I found Cuz, I can chunk him out at minimum. And Cuz has to commit the Cyclone to get away, but effort, the communication wasn't there because you didn't need to use both of those ultimates. And it just means it's impossible to teamfight after, but they still try, thinking they can pick Faker. Faker does end up dying, flashes a bit late, but then you're just so out of position in the aftermath.
Yeah, and BDD just gets surrounded and annihilated, and Doran able to launch himself underneath that turret to take down the Wukong.
Ocean Dragon though, so I think KT dodging a bullet with that one.
Yeah, lucked out just a little bit there, especially when you've got a Syndra. It's not like you'll have time to heal when she presses her gameplay button and you just die. As Ona's coming over looking for an angle towards Perfect. Perfect is probably not going to notice.
Oh look, it's the Vayne, Vi, Alistair dive trio again. Good luck, Perfect.
Yeah. He does at least have a pretty high health bar, and there's not a lot of minions in the area. Let's see whether Ona and Kere will have enough to get through this Cassante. Aftershock at the ready.
Well played. Played up the wave, found an angle away. And a lot of resources committed to the bot side of the map allows KT to pick up this Herald. That mid tower pretty low.
Yeah.
So could just throw it down there.
Good cross map here for KT. And BDD also able to get a little bit of pressure here towards his top side as Cuz is moving in, looking for Faker once again. Dash Cannon gets him out of dodge as Effort shielding up Cuz as they will back away. Carrier moving himself here towards his top side. And the wave somewhat going by the wayside. I think Faker is going to be able to go back and pick up most of it. Does at least get the experience. And so BDD ahead by just a little bit still. But it's a 1.3k gold lead. And it's largely this gigantic Vayne for T1.
Mostly just Doran. And I think there's a lot of things that can make Doran's life difficult and shut him down in a team fight. There's also the possibility that Doran starts working against T1 when he gets hostile taken over.
Oh, that's true.
And could honestly start shredding. So it's not the easiest game to play Vayne, but a lot of weight for the draft is being put on him with the flexes to kind of give him the ideal matchup. And it means that he really needs to be performing at a top level to make this game work for T1. But so far he has been.
Certainly working out as it goes. And in their last series, his Vayne was unbelievable. Even if he wasn't actually able to pick up the win, he looked so good on this pick. So I can understand why they would want to trust him with it. Perfect here, just trying to batten down the hatches and stay alive here. And his bottom lane right now looking pretty safe. But Doran just having a good time, clearing things out, looking for that Essence Reaver as soon as possible. And Pays puts together his second item. Rylaze is now done as well.
Yeah, not the highest damage output pickup for the Talia. Now, this is a champion you can sometimes struggle to really get the damage out. This one doesn't exactly help, but a lot of utility afforded by it. Now, Faker's trying to defend this wave and not die at the same time, which is a difficult one to balance.
Yeah, you can see BDD is going to eliminate as many of these minions as possible before he takes down this turret. That is going to equalize the turrets here. And Gio is going to push Ona away from this.
Wait, look at Carrier's position, by the way.
Yeah, he is lurking
He got some deep wards in, and he's very much behind enemy lines. He could go for a Hex Flash flank play, but I mean, it looks like he might look for it. The thing is, Effort's not a good target. Oh, no. He's in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, my lord. There's a headbutt back, and straight into the seismic shove. Not even going to try for a bailout.
The timing was actually perfect, because Effort wasn't initially a good target because the Fate's Call was there, but Jiwoo recalled, and that's when Carrier goes for the play, and he gets that free pickup as well. What's even crazy about the timing is this flash is now back up. His Hex Flash was only there for a moment, and he gets Jiwoo's flash.
Yeah, immediate flash to get Jiwoo out of there.
That Carrier just got in that passage of play, and the timings, you know, Jiwoo haven't recalled, Carrier's Hex Flash been available, not his flash, and then getting the summoner from Jiwoo. A lot picked up there for T1 support.
The Carrier Cow, always amazing.
Yeah, look, the recall comes in, and he didn't actually have vision of Jiwoo, but it just immediately goes for the play. I think saw the recall channeling from Effort as well and figured it would be synced.
That makes some sense.
Great read.
And there's also the fact that they pushed him so far away. Might have been difficult to get that Fate's Call off just in general. But
yeah, for sure.
With the vision that they had available.
Also, just not a situation you expect. You don't expect your wolves to have turned into a cow in the middle of the game. Sometimes that happens, apparently.
Not enough heads on Alistair, as it turns out. Cannot be the big wolf. That's all right. Owner is going to be taking the Sentinel. And KT, 8 seconds until Soul Point for T1. They have a positional advantage around this Dragon Pit. And that is a phenomenal scatter onto Pays.
And his TP's already been burned, so he can't reset and get full HP.
His Weaver's Wall is up just now, but I just don't think he's going to be able to be back in time. So the Equalizer tries to make things a little bit annoying here for Cuz, but he has Smite, so he's fine. And that is KT denying the Soul Point, but giving them one Ocean Dragon. I don't think they're going to be too worried about it, but now the Rift Herald goes down. They should take this turret and get another charge on the inner as well. Unless T1 are able to surround Shelly and lock this one up. It looks like it's not going to get another charge.
Waste Herald, ultimately. But they still get the push and get the mid lane tower. And it just kind of shows that, I mean, obviously T1, it was one Ocean Dragon. They already have 2 dragons in pocket. It's not the end of the world losing it. But how one play from BDD doesn't even result in a kill, but he gets the poke down on the Pays, and that is enough to just send T1 packing when it comes to that objective.
Yeah, and he'll take this turret as well. Doran is returning the favor on the top side of the map. But BDD getting larger and larger is a scary prospect. Is now Perfect kind of wishing that he'd build a Rookern or something like that, seeing this Rumble make his way out of the brush.
Yeah, that's one thing with his build. He's definitely well-equipped to, as well as you can be, to handle the Vayne, but when one of them's this AD threat and one of them's this AP threat, and they both just shred you, difficult to itemize against both.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great time. We'll have Jack shows up pretty soon.
He's not crazy valuable in fights when there is a lot of AP damage on the enemy side. Talia is also a champion who's just pretty good against Cassante, even though she's not like the best tank shredder. The Unraveled Earth just makes it kind of a nightmare for him.
Yeah, it is very annoying. And Faker now has built up 2 items, has some shred, added shred on top of everything else. Already had it with the harpoons.
Yeah, this is the teamwork shred item. A lot of value there when you have 2 AP on your team.
All right, now Pace even going to have more with the Blighted Jewel already picked up. So, all right, getting prepared to be able to take down Perfect is what they're doing. And Weaver's Wall going to come on through. Cease and desist will not be stopped. The Equalizer goes down. BDD, nowhere to go. He was extremely dead.
Great pick there. Great buffer by Ona.
Baron?
Gets some range for the ultimate, so you can't be scattered. They don't opt to go for Baron. It's Huni Baron again.
All right, that's scary.
We need to have Wiz with him.
I was thinking it was T1, so they were just going to go straight for the Baron. Pays now has a Magi's. 10 stacks on that one.
They are trying to set a trap for KT, trying to bait them into checking on the Baron. I mean, they're still the control ward, so they're not really going to face check, but they're getting good vision down. End result, though, is KT losing BDD, not ideal, but it doesn't drastically change the state of the game.
Nope. They haven't really found too much success, though, in the recent fights of KT. Feels like T1 are well practiced in a composition like this, playing around carrier, finding some phenomenal engages, and Pays is just kind of good at every champion that's ever been introduced into League of Legends, so his Talia has also been phenomenal. 5-0-1 on this pick as well. Is there anything this kid cannot do? I don't know. Okay, Jiu gonna have to bounce out of the equalizer, but the flash forward from Faker is just too good. Perfect is here trying to help out, but effort was nowhere in sight, so no bailout available. Hostile takeover doesn't do too much of anything, but Ona has to flash to get himself out of the way. Great pulverize from Carrier into the backline as Perfect is condemned to safety because he's still gonna have to flash towards his Sentinel to try and survive. And then BDD has to throw the Sentinel away because it was about to kill the monkey. Now T1 with their prize. They've taken down Jiu. Are they going to be able to get anything off the back end? The answer is looking like a no.
They get the blue buff. An effort just not close enough to help out Jiwoo there. This is the big thing. They're allowing Jiwoo just to pick up this wave solo, and T1 immediately punish. You don't have your support there. We have Perfect coming in a little late, but it's not the same as having to bail out a hostile takeover there immediately. And in fact, Ona doesn't die here. Caught in the cycle and the hostile takeover is not enough for him. But I think Cuz lucky to live on this one. So close.
Yeah.
Has to heal a bit off the blue buff, actually.
All right, and so that means 12 stacks now for FaZe.
I think 2 times in a row we've seen T1 get these big picks onto members of the bot lane. Clister, Renata, you need to be in lockstep. You need to be with each other because if Renata's in trouble, you have the Fate's Call to get in safety. If Clister's in trouble, you have the bailout, you have the hostile takeover to give us space to turn things around. So often they're separated, and it's just not a good omen for KT.
But right now, effort is at least moving back towards Jiu. The scatter does come on through here. This Carrier is stunned up momentarily. There's a good pierce to get out of the equalizer as KT not going to be too bothered about that one. So that is a decent cooldown now removed. Perfect able to also get out of the way of that seismic shove as FaZe just throwing these threaded volleys around. And into the Drake pit goes Ona. KT with control of mid lane now, though. We'll see whether they can move in time as FaZe throws down the rocks. And T1 with Doran here, getting through this dragon so quickly. That is going to be sole point. Scatter connects onto Carrier, but he's not a prime target. Although he does basically almost die.
Yeah, that was looking like some prime beef there.
Yeah, never mind. That's Hanu right there.
They're going to look at the Baron, but again, this is the Huni Baron. It's a lot of damage. Equalizer's not that far away. This is dangerous to go for. I think they want to pick out of this.
Are they going to find it? Everyone flashes for Faker. He gets handshook back in.
Okay,
and that is going to be the rumble down, but he didn't
Baron anymore. Used way too much there. Yes, you got the rumble, but this is so risky.
Well, Perfect is now going to get picked off by Doran. If Doran dies, then maybe there's an angle. As KT are looking to back away. The Fate's Call now on cooldown. That's a big deal. No hostile takeover. Cyclone is in, though. Scatter connects one more time, and there is that Cyclone. They take down Ona. Maybe that's going to be enough, as now Doran is on the inner turret, and that is a beautiful shove back, but there's just not a lot of damage to come out from just the Talia. This is still dangerous. This still feels scary, so dangerous.
Smite down with a Clister and a Smite. You should have this unlocked if you get a low enough, but that is the big if.
Yeah, another great scatter comes in. There's the wall coming on through as Doran goes invisible. Can they get on top of him? The handshake is going to connect. The all-out is on top of Doran, and he's too low range. He's not actually able to hit them over the wall, but FaZe is going to be able to dissuade them from doing the Baron as they trade Carrier for Perfect and KT back away.
T1 with the help of Huni managed to stop KT's Baron attempt.
Oh man, you thought that he left after 2016. No.
He's still there.
Still there in spirit.
So precarious. And I think the thing is they use so many tools on this initial play on a Faker. They caught him, and I get they want to take him out, but he actually doesn't have flash here. And I think it was just a little bit overkill. Like, I get it. You want him dead, but it meant you had a lot less tools for the fight. And they get this great pick. Oh no, speaking of great pick.
Okay, this time effort is at least here. Does get the cleanse out and now just hops around. Ona is in a lot of trouble. These sticks are going to get torn out and Ona will be going down. There is that Ren kill. What did you say? Oh, the flash forward from BDD is insane and he's immediately executed. That's a double kill for Doran and now they're getting hunted down by the Demon Hunter herself. Perfect is going to sacrifice himself for it, but that should mean possibly a Baron for T1.
They should be able to keep Cuz away. They don't even necessarily need the smite, but that fight, you're seeing the value when effort is there to help Jiwoo, but a misstep, a misplay by BDD cost them so much here. The difference when effort is there is night and day. They don't have the damage to put through the Callista in time, and she just starts auto-attacking, stacking up the Rend. And initially this is great for T1, but then BDD just oversteps here. Paze is pretty bulky. Just goes for the Q ult, nowhere near taking him down, and that misstep means that no one is there to hold Doran accountable. He can just start aggressing forwards and shredding through KT.
I don't know what BDD was thinking in that moment. That was crazy. Not quite able to find enough damage in order to kill Paze there.
You know what it was? If he was playing the Rise from last game, that would have killed him.
Absolutely it would have.
But he isn't, and that wasn't enough.
Yeah, sometimes Fearless really does catch you unawares. I mean, he has at least done the most damage in the game.
Haze has 24 stacks on the Medjais and a 6 arm guard. He is...
And a Crypt Bloom.
Not an easy target to deal with, not an easy target to kill, and doing a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of champions on the side of KT who like dashing.
Yeah, even BDD as it turns out, as we saw in that last play. As Doran, with his Baron, wanting to play on this top side, the rest of KT down trying to defend. As Seismic Shove is going to go wide, but they can just fish for this piece. Like, the range advantage is just kind of massive here on T1's side. Even if they have a Vi and an Alistair down here, Paze can just thread the volleys. And now Faker is looking to go back home. Gonna look for a bit of a reset, perhaps.
Yeah, I think resets, spend the gold, 40 seconds on that Dragon. Ocean Salt, not the highest prio, but you'll never complain about it.
Nope.
Well, you might actually, but you'll take it regardless.
100%.
Level 16 hit for Faker, big spike with the Equalizer being max rank.
Maybe BDD had a... Did he have the arm guard and just died before he could press the button after that flash forward? Maybe that's what he was going for. That could have made some sense. He's got his Zhonya's now, though. I'm still trying... That play is still in my brain. Going to see what they can find as Gio going to use the Seismic Shove as a gap closer. His Jack Shows is going to make him pretty tanky here. Terminus is going to be built up next, most likely is perfect. Does not look like a tank.
He doesn't have that much magic resist. He just got shredded.
Yeah. And they do manage to get into this pit. Scatter is going to connect, but it's onto Carrier. He's not too worried about it. Vision coming on through, and now we're going to have a honest 5v5.
I was just hiding over the wall there. Carrier's going to spot him out.
As well. Going to be pretty durable. There's the headbutt Pulverize. Is now Cuz going to look to try and get himself over, but doesn't actually go into the pit. Doesn't want to use his flash for that one, as now Carrier moves in. Okay, there's the Weaver's Wall. Equalizer right up against it. Beautiful placement here. They're going to look to try and burst down the Dragon, but it's not going to work. Not quite able to get enough down first. So it should be a 50-50 hostile takeover. Great position as Doran goes forward. He's put in the blender. The knockups are gigantic though. And now Giyu gonna have to flash away. He's trying to hop around the fight. Ona gets into the backline and now Giyu is looking for the next one. Perfect. Goes forward. Carrier gets the CC down. And it's Faker that takes out this Cassante. The top side is dead. Another phenomenal scatter. And they both go golden. They're staring each other down, but the huge boulder in the back of BDD's head is going to say goodnight to him, and now Giyu really wants to try and hop around this mid lane, but Faker will light him on fire and say dodge this. Effort's also going to die. Second harpoon should be enough, and there he goes. T1 with this crazy composition are going to win this game, I think.
This comp really looked like a team comp where Paze was playing the utility role, wasn't going to be the highest impact play. He's 9-0-6 at almost 9,000 damage in that last fight. Doran went down, but Paze stood strong, and now T1 looking to end the game. Cuz is here to defend. Perfect up in a second. Is it going to be enough?
Another great Hex Flash as there is a gorgeous Seismic Shove. Cuz just dead. Nothing that he can do about that play as Carrier just survives the Nexus turrets. No worries there at all. Perfect. Not going to be worrying about the Seismic Shove, but the Nexus is not able to defend itself as Doran can shoot it whenever he would like. Wants to grab a couple of kills, but in the end, they're going to look towards this Nexus and move us to a game number 3 and 6 on the night. Roll around if you are KT. And so you can see that moment where that sort of cliff fell off. And KT never really recovered. Paze doing 36,000 damage here in this game on the Taliyah. Looking like an absolute monster. So I think we have some front runners when it comes to POMs for this series. And we'll have to see which team is going to be able to lock that one down.
토스한테 뭐 그럴 거? 강철 봐야 될 것 같아. 2,000, 2,000. 2,000 볼게, 2,000 볼게. 잔살 빼면 한번 빼면. 하나, 둘, 셋. 신드라 너희. 할만해. 나 신드라 써? 나 터지겠다. 칼리 봐야 돼.
됐어.
천천히 빨리 와 빨리 와.
아 끌렸어. 산타랑
살 사람 살아. 살 사람 살아봐.
살아봐.
아나 괜찮아.
다 살아봐.
아래 괜찮긴 해.
아니
몇 초야 몇 초야?
할리
아니
노플.
너 없어 5초. 오케이 천천히 와봐.
할리 레나타 노플.
맞아.
할리 레나타 노플.
나 칼리 볼게.
할리 레나타
오케이.
두 노플.
갈게 끊어줘. 야나 이거 와봐 이스코 요시한테 요시한.
둘다 노플.
거의 다 왔어.
할리 W 한통 없다. W 많아.
타고 끝날만한데.
믿어 볼게. 노플이야 얘 노형.
노플.
헷갈려 봐.
힐도 없어. 나 태어나면 텔 돼. 그때 생각해보자. 50 살아나도 노플 놈이